Hey guys, so it's gonna look like a different location, but I'm literally right by my bookshelves. Normally I'm on the bed and I have the bookshelves behind me, but I have injured my shoulder at work and it is killing me. So I'm sitting in my chair so I can have the heating pad on my shoulder. So that's what's happening. So I'm sorry that you don't get to see the bookshelves in the background. I apologize. But I did go to the trouble to grab all these books off the bookshelves to show them to you. So, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. I'm doing my October wrap up. And in the month of October, I read 14 books, which really annoys me. I wanted it to be 15 because I'm one of those people that wants the numbers to be good I don't know. I'm weird about the whole number thing, but it's not. It is 14 because I still haven't finished the book that I was trying to finish the last day of October, but that's because I've been kind of slumpy a little bit, only because the remastered Skyrim kind of happened, so that's a thing. So that's kind of why I've been slumpy, because I've been just really wanting to just play that. And I'm rewatching Gilmore Girls for the third time because the revival comes out November 25th, so that's another thing. And then me and my boyfriend are obsessed with House on Netflix, House MD. So, but I think I finally hit a milestone in my book that I'm reading right now. It's called, oh god, don't tell me I forgot what it's called. Beneath the Fall, but there's another part to it, the first thing, and then it's Beneath the Fall. And I'm trying to remember right now, but I'm having the hardest time, and it's across the room, and like I said, my shoulder hurts. It hurts to move it at all, so I'm trying not to. It's this one, and but I'm right-handed, so I keep moving my right hand, and I'm like, please stop moving your right hand. But I talk with my hand, so this is really hard for me to do. Okay, I've been rambling about my shoulder for 2 minutes, and I'm sorry, so we're just gonna get into the books. So the first book I completed in the month of October was, this is so weird to do without my right hand, The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. This is the second book in the Remnant Chronicles trilogy. I actually listened to most of it on audiobook back when I was working at Hastings. And then I just never finished the audiobook because, as you guys probably know, because I talk about it a lot, I really don't like audiobooks. They just are really, I don't like them. I'd rather just actually sit down and read the book. I don't really like having someone read it to me. I never liked it, even in school when we were reading it out to each other and stuff. I hated it because it just is so annoying to me. The only time I really like audiobooks is if I'm doing a really long car drive. Then they're the best thing in the entire world, because after 2 hours of listening to music, that gets old real quick. So, but, I thought it was really good. So I only had the last 150-ish pages to read, so I finished that, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and I have The Beauty of Darkness on my shelf, so hopefully I'm going to be reading that here pretty soon. But we'll see. No, I'm putting it on the wrong shelf. I'll have to wait till I sit up to do this. Okay. Sorry, I'm have Goodreads pulled up. The next book I read was Gamer Girl by Marie Manchusky. I don't know. This was just a really cute, really quick read. It was totally a cover buy on Amazon. I had some Amazon credit, and I only had $5 left or something, so I needed something that was kind of cheap. And I saw this in the recommended for you thing, and I was like, that is a beautiful cover. And then I read, and of course the title caught my eye, and I read the synopsis, and I thought it sounded really great, and a lot like this other book I've read that I loved, Guy in Real Life, which is another story about a person who's a gamer, and just it's so good. And this was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And a lot of people talk so much crap about this book on Goodreads, and I'm like, why? And I'm pretty sure let me check real fast, but I'm pretty sure I did a review for it. Yeah, I did a review for it on Goodreads, so if you guys want to go check that out, you can. I'll try to link it down in the video, but if it ends up going up without the link, I'm sorry. I don't really know how to link a specific review. I'll try to figure that out. If I can't, I will just link my actual Goodreads page, and you can do the exploring and find it. But I will try to link the actual review. But, yeah, like I said, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the main character was really cool, and she was a lot, like, it's really for people who've gone through this, like, had a really bad experience with school and stuff. Like, you'll really, really relate to it. So, I really liked it, because I had a really hard time in school and stuff. I made good grades. I had a really hard time with, like, the other people there. The kids were mean. So, that's what I meant by that. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm moving you. I'm sorry. I had to get more comfortable. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see what's next. Okay. And then the next book I read was Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Grisha trilogy, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but it got pretty slow in some paces, and not like in the good slow, like in the really like dragging on and on for no reason. Anyway, but still, I did really enjoy a lot of it though, and it was pretty interesting to see where the characters are at now, and I especially love the character development for Elena. How do you say her name? Elena? That's how I say it. Is that how you're supposed to say it? Elena? Am I thinking Vampire Diaries? Is that wrong? I don't know. That's Elaine. I don't. If I'm saying it right, like, tell me, or if I'm saying it wrong, like, tell me, and like try to get me to say it right, because that'd be great. Because honestly, I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I liked it. I liked the plot in this one a lot. And I'm glad that we ended up going back to the Grisha school, because I think that was my problem, was the first part we weren't there, and that was really bugging me, because that was like one of my favorite things about the first book was the whole school thing, and I loved it, and so for the first part you're not there, and it was sad, but yeah, I thought it was good. I'm really excited to see how everything wraps up in Run and Rising, and then I'll finally be able to start Six of Crows, which I have Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I just need to finish Run and Rising, and I just need to read Run and Rising, finish it, and then I can move on to those, because everybody says those are so phenomenal, and I've just been, and I know you don't have to read this series to read the other one, but I prefer to, just so I have all the information, because I know that they're set in the same world, so I like to have all that world like built and all that stuff. So the next thing I read, I can't show it to you because I got it from the digital library. It is Maybe Not by Colleen Hoover. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. And this is like the novella that goes along with Maybe Someday, which is the only Colleen Hoover... Wait, that's a lie. Never mind. Sneak peek into a few more books away. But it was the first Colleen Hoover book I ever read, and it was amazing. I loved it so much. Stop using right hand. I loved it so much, and I especially loved Maybe Not, because that was like my favorite, that was my favorite couple, was them, and so we got to follow like their little story, and it was so cute, and it was so them, and they were so like together and everything, and I just really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And then the next book I read was The School for Good and Evil by Shaman Chinani, I think, hopefully. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I had read like the first 170 pages from a library copy, but I ended up returning it without finishing it because I just got bored, I think. And then I ended up finding the box set of the 3 books for like $13. It was really, really cheap on Amazon, and I had an Amazon credit, so I used that, and I got all of them, and I read this one, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. I like how dark it is, even though it's a middle grade, and I really like the characters and the development of the characters, especially the ending was just like really, really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the next one, because the next one has a crazy title, A World Without Princes, so like, I think all the princes are going to be gone, and there's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff happening, so yeah, I'm excited for that. And then the next book I read was, oh, whoops, My Lady Jane by Cynthia Han, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. I really, really, really enjoyed this book. It was really funny, and the storyline was really, really unique, and I liked how they had the whole, like, the people that turn into animal things, and just Ethiopians, or, I don't know, it's so hard to pronounce, but I'd have to actually look. They tell you how to pronounce it. They have, like, it phonetically spelled out, which I was saying it that way the entire time, but without actually seeing it for a while, I can't say it exactly. But yeah, it was really, really good. And honestly, when I first read it, I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, but I think I'm going to go ahead and bump my rating up to a 5 out of 5 stars because I have just not stopped thinking about this book since I read it. I just keep thinking about it. And so I think that it deserves a 5 out of 5, and I think it might be on my my top favorite 16 of 2016. Just a little spoiler there, but yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this, and it makes me really interested to learn more about Jane, like the actual Jane that's from the that this is based on in history. And I kind of just want to know, like, who she was and, like, what was going on with her and stuff, because it was just really, really good. Okay. And the next thing I read, I also can't show it to you because it was a ebook, and I didn't even know it existed, but I was like, I don't even know how I found this out, okay? But I found this out somehow, and it's called Crimson Dagger Part 1, and it's like a little novella for Fallen Kingdoms, and it's about Magnus, who is my favorite character, and I was so happy to know that it existed, and then I read it, like, really quick, and it was so good. It was so good. Oh my gosh, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, obviously, and it was amazing, and I was so excited, and I'm just so ready for Fallen Kingdoms, more Fallen Kingdoms, all of it. I need it now. So yeah. The next thing I also can't show you because I got it from the digital library. It was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, which is now the second, well, I guess technically the third Colleen Hoover book that I have read. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was phenomenal. Like, oh my gosh. I can't even say that maybe someday is my favorite one anymore. Like, they're pretty neck and neck. I really don't know which one I prefer over the other. I really love both of them, and I just thought it was great, and I just highly suggest that everybody go read it. Go read those 2 books by her. I can't say anything about the other ones because I haven't read those yet, but those 2 definitely go read. You will love them. And then the next book I read was for Spookathon. I only completed like 3 of the challenges, and I only read 3 books because I don't know, I had a lot going on. I've been working a lot, and we've had a lot of craziness. We just got a new fuel lead, and just all this stuff. But anyway, so the book I read was 3 Dark Crowns by Kendare Blake. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and this completed the spooky word challenge because they said dark counted. It's about the, like, sisters, the triplets, and they have to kill each other. They all have different powers, and you guys have probably been talked to death about this book, so I'm not going to go into all that again, but it was really, 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 really good, and the ending was like, oh my gosh, so I'm ready for the next one. The next book I read was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This I also read for Spookathon. This was my thriller book. It's about these kids, well, teenagers, that get recruited into this program that's like for people who have kind of like special abilities. Like there's this one who he can like read people's emotions like really in depthly, and then this girl who can like read people and figure out like what they're like and what their intentions, that kind of stuff is. But they get recruited by like the CIA, and they're trying to find serial killers and, you know, arrest them or whatever. And it's really, really good, and I really enjoyed it, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I probably already said that. But yeah, I'm excited to pick up the rest of the series just whenever I have the money to do so. The next book I read was Ensnared by A.G. Howard. This was for the Red on the Cover book. And this was the final book in the Splintered trilogy, and it was really, really good. And I'm really happy that I finished it. And the ending, I like cried. And I was so happy. It ended exactly the way I wanted it to end. And I'm so happy about it. I need to get Untamed now, which is like the novellas that go along with this series, because I need more. I need more in my life. So much more. So, yeah, I really, really, really enjoyed this. Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars just because there were parts that I was angry at some parts. I was really mad at like the characters, and I was just mad. So, but I did enjoy it for the most part. So that's why it got a 4 out of 5 stars. I almost forgot to talk about this one. I also read Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. I'm trying to remember why I picked this book up. It was time to finish off the Lunar Chronicles, I guess. So this is the novellas that go along with the Lunar Chronicles, and I was so happy reading the last one. I was like, it was so exciting. I loved it, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. And then the next one I read was, again from the digital library. It was a graphic novel in real life by Cory Doctorow. I can't pronounce this. But I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It's about a girl who, like, this person comes to speak to her class, and she's saying that she needs like more girls in gaming. So she gives them like, she tells them about this online game and gives it to them, and they have to pay like a fee or whatever. Anyway, so she gets her mom to do it, and she gets in there, and she finds out about these characters that are like cheating. But it's crazy. It's got some really deep topics in there, like about like other cultures and healthcare and union and strikes and people just getting what they need to get from their jobs and just stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then the last book I read this month, I also got from the digital library, and it was Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was amazing. I think I honestly enjoyed this one more than Illuminae, because I just loved the characters in this one more. I really liked Hannah. Like, she was awesome, and Nick was hilarious. Like, hilarious, and I loved him. And their whole interaction, and just how he always called her princess and stuff, just, I loved it. Like, hardcore loved it. So, I liked it more than Illuminae. But I'm excited for the third one, and I can't wait to see what happens in that. So this is already like a super long video, and I'm sorry about that. And I'm also sorry that, boring background, but again, hurt shoulder. But, I did pull all these books off. Now I have to put them up. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next time.